Hey guys, it's Christy, and today I'm going to be talking about all of my favorite books of July. I'm going to be talking about why I really enjoyed them and why some of you guys might like them too. First up is Married at Sunrise. I absolutely love this book. I did not want to put it down. This is a King Thrushbeard retelling, and I had never read a King Thrushbeard retelling before, and let me just say, it did not disappoint. It was basically a marriage of convenience times enemies to lovers, but it was convenient for everybody but her. We follow Hilani and her marriage to Captain Fox, who is really a prince in disguise. She obviously does not know he's a prince when she marries him. She just thinks he's this scoundrel who used to be a pirate. Hilani is actually a princess, and she is forced to marry this captain by her brother, who is now the king, because their entire kingdom is in so much debt, and the only way for them to pay off their debts is if she marries Captain Fox and he gives them some of his money. At the same time, Captain Fox really wants to marry Hilani because she has some valuable information that he needs in order to complete a secret mission. He also needs to get married if he wants to become king. And the tension in the beginning is so thick. You can cut it with a knife, but it's great because they are just hiding all these secrets from each other, and it just makes it that much more juicy. And I just love the changes that start taking place. I mean, there's just so much chemistry there right from the start, and then you see them start to fall for each other, and it's so good. And at the end, there is a serious plot twist that just makes the whole entire thing so suspenseful. So if you like action-packed adventure, enemies to lovers, marriage of convenience, all of the beautiful tension that goes with that sweet, clean romance, then I highly recommend you pick up Married at Sunrise by Leigh Aloha Humphreys. Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham. I finally got to read it and I loved it. It's about this girl who loves books, and she's kind of introverted, and she works at a library, and one day her cousin signs her up for this online dating service. So she kind of thinks it's like a joke, and she starts talking with some guys until she starts chatting with this guy that loves books just as much as she does, and the rest is history. Most of the communication between the characters is through emails and text messages, which I didn't know if I was actually gonna like that, but I really, really loved it. I thought Pepper Basham did an amazing job of just making the characters leap off the page, and the way they speak to each other was just so funny. I mean, seriously, like laugh out loud funny. And there were so many fun references to Lord of the Rings and other classics. I mean, Pepper Basham is very well read. I mean, wow, there was a lot of things in here. So if you like bookish books and really funny characters, sweet, clean, contemporary, swoony romance, then Authentically Izzy should be at the top of your list. I read When the Day Comes, and you guys, this book is legit. The hype is real. It was so good. It's a pretty thick book, and I read it in 2 days, and I would have read it all in one sitting if I didn't have to do things, you know, like eat and sleep and go to work, things like that. But wow. So this book follows a girl named Libby who has received the time traveling gene from her mother's side of the family. And basically what happens is every night when she goes to sleep, she wakes up in a different time. She'll wake up in 1774, and then the next night she'll go to sleep and she wakes up in 1914. And every time she wakes up, it's as if no time has passed. So it's like she's living two completely separate lives, and the others don't really know anything about her other life unless she tells them. Her mother in 1774 is also a time crosser, so she's able to share about her other life with her. However, the people in 1914 have no idea. What made the story so suspenseful is it takes place right before her 21st birthday, and on her 21st birthday, she has to choose which life she wants to live. Does she want to stay in 1774, or does she want to go to 1914 and live there for the rest of her days? And this is obviously just an impossible choice. I mean, how can she choose? She has people she loves in 1774, and then she has people she cares for in 1914. If you want a true page turner, pick up When the Day Comes. You just don't know what's going to happen next. I will say there is a content warning because about the middle of the book, there is some really heartbreaking things that happen. There is some assault that happens within a marriage situation, and it's really heartbreaking the way it goes down. I personally found it very upsetting, and there was a moment where I thought, I don't know about this book. But I have to say, if you find yourself really distressed in the middle of this book, just get to the ending, because it was like, it just, not that it made the bad stuff fade away, but it just made everything make sense, and it was literally the reason there was a happy ending. So it just put everything in perspective, and the ending had an amazing twist that I did not see coming, and wow, I think this book should be a movie. It was that good. Like, the ending was shockingly happy. I mean, it just tied everything in a neat little bow and then just gave you a gift on top of it that you weren't expecting. So if you like time travel, romance, suspense, drama, I definitely recommend When the Day Comes. Royal Gone Rogue by Emma St. Clair. So this is the second in the series to Royally Rearranged. And I just absolutely love the first one, and this one was really good too. This was kind of like a modern Cinderella story. The whole premise of the story is that he has to find a bride very quickly. So what I love about the author, Emma St. Clair, is like, she recognized the fact that this is kind of a little bit insta-love, or it's gonna have to be insta-love if he's actually gonna find a bride in the amount of time that he needs to find one to fulfill his royal duties. She literally addresses the fact that it's like insta-love. The characters talk about insta-love. They actually use that term, and I think it was really great the way she did that, and it just making light of the fact that, like, hey, yes, we know this is very quickly, but that's what's gonna make this story funny and really fun, and it all worked out in the end. Okay, and I just have to share this section from the book because this kind of creeped me out a little bit. Because you guys know BookLover Amanda did a really hilarious vlog on the Twilight Saga. She did a reread of it, then she watched the movie, she did all this commentary. I'll link it below. And the whole vlog was just about like, hey, you know, I really liked this book when I was younger, but you know what? Things have kind of changed a little bit. I've grown up a little bit, and now I see things a little bit differently. And then Oceana did a video that was very similar. She's like, hey, I was reading this had great nostalgic vibes, but you know, I've changed. My tastes have changed a little bit. But anyway, I was reading this book, and I was like, because this literally sounds like almost exactly what they said. Okay, let me just read it, and then This is Philip the Prince, okay? Though I'm truly concerned for Alicia's well-being, it's not hard to admire her even while she's asleep, which admittedly feels slightly creepy. But no one seemed to have a problem with that sparkly vampire watching a girl sleep for months. And he also wanted to eat her. Comparatively, me sitting at the edge of Alicia's bed watching her sleep is perfectly acceptable. Though perhaps I shouldn't base my moral compass on a fictional vampire from a young adult novel. Is that not almost exactly what Oceana and Amanda said, like word for word? Yeah, I ended up sending that to Oceana. I was like, girl, you have got to see this. This is nuts. She talked about that line about how like the vampire wanted to eat her. And then Amanda also talked about how having him in the room watching her sleep was just incredibly creepy and like a big no-no. So I just thought that was hilarious that, I mean, y'all are like on the same wavelength as Emma St. Clair for sure. It's like, wow. And I have the same opinion too, honestly. I don't know about Twilight anymore. I mean, it was good back then. It was a good read, but now. Next, I picked up a cozy mystery called Murder Past Due, and it's got a really cute cat on the cover. It's about a librarian named Charlie who's got a really cute perceptive cat named Diesel. He basically goes everywhere with him. Like, he takes this cat on walks, so like this cat got to be a part of like solving the murder. And what happened was, this man that used to go to high school with Charlie, and he became a famous author, and he became very, very rich. And he came back to his hometown and visited with Charlie, and was there to like visit with some people that he grew up with. And turns out that like everybody hates this guy because he did all these horrible things. He was a womanizer, and he just took advantage of people left and right. And so, big surprise, this guy turns up dead. And so Charlie has to solve the murder, like who did it? And there's like all these suspects because everybody hates this guy. And so this book was awesome because I had no idea who it was. I thought the author did a fantastic job of just throwing off the path of like who did it. Like, you think, oh, it's this guy, and then it's not, and then you find out it's not. They have like an alibi, and it right up until the end, I had no idea who did it, and so I was really surprised. And it was a really great, satisfying ending because some of the characters really benefiting from the solving of this murder. I'll just say that. So if you like bookish mysteries with cats, then I definitely recommend Murder Past Due. Kisses and Croissants was a lot of fun. Literally the entire book just felt like a happy sigh. Like, if you need a book to put you in a good mood, read Kisses and Croissants. Seriously, it's about a girl that wants to be a professional ballerina, and she gets accepted into this school in Paris for a summer program. So this whole book is literally just about her summer in Paris and going through the whole ballet program. And I really enjoyed it. I really like ballet, so I just really like the premise of this story. I've never been to Paris, but I literally felt like I was experiencing it in a book. It was just amazing, like the way the author just described the setting and the way it made you feel. It was like I was there. It was really fun. I really got Lizzie McGuire movie vibes because she meets this guy. It's kind of a forbidden love story that she's really not supposed to be dating because he happens to be the ballet master's son, and so they could get in really big trouble if anybody finds out about them. So she's kind of like sneaking around the streets of Paris with him, and the whole thing is just really sweet, really wholesome, just a really good time. And he's kind of helping her solve some mysteries from her past and things about her family, all the while you're following her progress in this ballet program. So, and the author just announced that it's going to be a movie. So I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be on Netflix or if it's going to be on the big screen, but I'll definitely be looking out more for that. And I don't know when it's going to be either. So it could be some time. You know how movies are. They take a while before they actually come to pass. But I definitely want to watch it when it comes out. So if you like ballet and adventure and want to experience the streets of Paris through a book, then I definitely recommend Kisses and Croissants. Also, I read Pearl of Magic, which is the third in a series by Emily Dedi. I'm not really sure how you say her name. And this is a Little Mermaid retelling, and I really enjoyed this story. And I've been enjoying this entire series, and I definitely recommend the entire series. The first one's a Cinderella retelling, and the second one is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and so this one's Little Mermaid. And she's not actually a mermaid, but she has this ability to breathe underwater. Because of her magical ability, she's considered to be evil by people in the mainland, and so she ends up venturing out to try to save her little sister, and she gets captured, and she gets her speaking ability taken away. So those are kind of the things that are similar about the Little Mermaid story and this book. But what I really liked about it is it really dove into the world that has been created through the first two books, and it definitely explained some things that I was wondering about. It brought some more detail to the war that's kind of going on around them. The romance was really sweet, and there was a wonderful surprise at the end, something that happened to the characters in book one that was kind of distressing. got resolved in this book. So and the sad thing is I can't really say what it is unless you read the first two. You'll know what I'm talking about. But if you like fairy tale retellings, Little Mermaid retellings, I definitely recommend this book. I recommend this series by Emily Dandy. It's the Fairytale Royals series. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about the Christian Book of the Month pick, which happened to be the Book of Romans. And lately I've been getting back into audiobooks, and so I listened to the Book of Romans, and I listened to the New King James Version. It was available on YouTube, and so I'll link that below if anybody's also interested in listening to it. I love reading it, but then also sometimes I find like if I listen to it, I'll get something different from the text. And what I love about the Book of Romans is that it is just the perfect book as far as like if you want a book of the Bible that is relevant with the times, that is the Book of Romans. It talks about current issues that we're dealing with in our culture, as well as, hey, here's a way that we can handle this, and here's how you're supposed to handle this. It was really fantastic just to get a refresher like that. And I know I've heard some people talking about how they really want to read the Bible in a year. And I actually found, it's called oneyearbibleonline.com. And what's great about it is it just lists a daily reading plan so that you literally can read the Bible in 1 year. And it gives you a little bit of an Old Testament book, it gives you a little bit of a New Testament book, and then some Psalms and some Proverbs. So you feel like you get a good mix of everything. So they have the reading plan. They also have an audio version, and I really like listening to the audio version because they have this man on there who reads it, and he often will provide commentary to kind of give you the context of what's happening in the Old Testament story or the New Testament, kind of how you can apply it to your life. So I really enjoy listening to the audio version of 1 Year Bible Online, and it's great because I usually listen to it when I'm getting ready in the morning, and it keeps me in the Word, it keeps me grounded, and I get to listen to the Bible all in 1 year. And if audio is not your thing, like I said, they have a reading plan so you can actually read through the Bible. But personally, I do like the audio version better because of the commentary, because I feel like I get a little bit more out of it. And get this, 1 Year Bible Online just happened to be going through the Book of Romans this month. So I listened to it on YouTube, and then I also got to listen to it again through the 1 Year Bible Online. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, then I'll definitely link that below. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of my favorites and recommendations for July. I hope you guys had a really great reading month too. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books before, or any of these books that interest you that you might like to read. I'd love to hear it. I love chatting with you guys in the comments, so I hope you have a great day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!